Hey everybody, it's Pat in the Cardboard Dungeon, and this is the first in a new series of X-Wing videos where I will look at the top 5 of something X-Wing related. In this first video, I'm looking at the top 5 elite upgrades. Now this is my opinion, of course. I'd love to hear yours. Disagree or agree with me in the comment section below. Always enjoy the conversation here on our videos. So let's jump right into this. Top 5 elite upgrades. Now the elite upgrade, of course, something that some of the better pilots in the game can take, and these are all over the place. All kinds of cool abilities, game changers, lots of neat stuff in this batch of elite upgrades, but these are, in my consideration, the 5 best. In no particular order, I'm actually going to go by point cost for this list. Starting with Adaptability, a new elite upgrade that came in the Mist Hunter expansion with a cost of 0 points. Adaptability, of course, also the first dual upgrade card that has something on both sides, and this one lets you, at the beginning of each match, choose either to add 1 or subtract 1 from your pilot skill. Pilot skill super important in this game, and the game is trending back toward aces, high pilot skills, arc dodging in the metagame that we've seen. So anything that can give your pilot skill a little bit of an edge. So if you're flying a Han Solo against another Han Solo, but you have adaptability and he doesn't, you don't pay anything, and now you have a pilot skill of 10 against his 9, and you're going to shoot first. So very cool. And of course, the 0 cost costs you nothing. There's also Veteran Instincts in the game, of course, that's going to raise your pilot skill by 2, and that will get you above adaptability, but then, of course, you're paying a little bit for it as well. So there's a trade-off there. There's some mind games. Which one do you take? Very interesting. I love how squad building in X-Wing has gotten more and more complex, and yet remains still relatively simple. I mean, it's definitely way more than it was when the game first came out. Okay, number 2. Crackshot came with the Houndstooth and Kirax Fighter expansions. Now this is a throwaway upgrade, and by that I mean it's a one-time use. Once you use it, it's gone. But definitely an excellent upgrade because of the fact that there are so many arc dodgers, high agility, lots of ways to get evades. This just lets you spend it and you get rid of one evade result on your opponent's roll. So if you really need to clear Soontir Fel or any pesky high agility ship off the board, you get a really good attack roll. He rolls evades. You just need one of those evades to not be there, and you can maybe destroy that ship. You know, you use it at the right time, it's a game changer. It's a match winner. Very cool 1-point elite upgrade. Next up is Veteran Instincts. I just talked about this one. It comes in the Millennium Falcon and Slave 1 expansions. One of the longest running popular elite upgrades in the game. Veteran Instincts, of course, 1 point, raises your pilot skill by 2. We still see this everywhere in the game. Everywhere. It's just one of the best elite upgrades. You can bump Han Solo, Darth Vader, Soontir Fel from a 9 up to an 11. You can get pilots like Poe Dameron, or Jake Farrell from an 8 to a 10. So lots of cool, interesting uses for this when you're playing that pilot skill game. Okay, moving on. We are going to talk about Predator, which comes in the TIE Defender, Kirax Fighter, and Ghost expansion. Predator is a 3-point elite upgrade, pretty costly, but it does give you some free rerolls, which are always good. Predator lets you reroll 1 die or 2 dice if the target's pilot skill is 2 or below. So this is interesting because it essentially almost gives you a free target lock on every attack. Almost. Not quite as good as target lock, but you don't need to use a target lock action. You just have it. It doesn't cost an action. It doesn't cost you anything to use it except for the point cost to put it in your squad. And definitely showing up all over the place because rerolls, of course, super powerful for getting all the hits you can out of an attack. All right, and finally, number 5 on this list. How can we not talk about Push the Limit when we're talking about elite upgrades? Push the Limit comes in the A-Wing expansion and the Imperial Aces expansion. Lets you take a free action after you take an action. Free action, of course, must be on your action bar. You can't just take any free action. And then you get a stress token. So many amazing combos off of Push the Limit in this game, especially now that there are things that let you take free actions when you reveal your dial before you perform your maneuver. We've seen things like Poe Dameron with BB-8. BB-8 lets him take that free boost when he reveals a green maneuver. You can push the limit off of that. If it's a green maneuver, then you clear your stress, and then you still get your normal action after you perform your maneuver. Also, Sunterfell, of course, probably the most popular push the limit combo in the game. Anytime he pushes the limit, he gets that free focus token from his ability. And there's just tons more combos off of pilot abilities, off of other upgrades in the game that make Push the Limit so amazingly good. And the only drawback to it is you get stressed, but there's so many ways to clear stress in the game. However, the one caveat I will say is now that stress inducing attacks, things like the stress bot builds, lots of new pilot abilities. We just saw Chopper in the Ghost given stress when he bumps enemy ships. Lots of ways to give stress in the game. Stress showing up is a big factor. People are realizing, rightfully so, that loading up an enemy ship with stress and shutting down its ability to do red maneuvers, to get the K turn off the board, shutting down the ability to do actions, it really shuts down a lot of those really popular aces, a lot of the arc dodgers. Without actions, without being able to turn around quick, they just fold up, basically. So you got to be careful. Anytime you're going to give yourself stress, you got to watch what's on the board, as always, of course. Make sure your enemy doesn't have tricks that are going to add more stress on top of that. Make sure you have a way forward to clear that stress, of course, going into the next round. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, as always. Let me know if you think this is a good idea, these top 5 lists, if you want to see more, if you have an idea for a top 5 that you'd like to see me do. I will take everything into consideration, and of course, see you next time.